Okay, students, so now we are into actual configuration part. There are only 3 steps to configure the Samba server so it can start sharing. You have to modify the RHCE samba.conf, which we talked about in the previous section also. Then we're going to restart the process called SMB, and then we're going to create SMB users. So these are the only 3 steps that we need to do. There are some prerequisites that you got to have in order to make this work. If you're using a virtual environment like I'm doing, say in VirtualBox or VMware Workstation or something similar, then you can create a virtual machine with computer running Linux. In my case, it's CentOS 7. You can have Ubuntu or some other flavor of Linux. You have to install Samba on it if it's not already there, and chances are by default it's probably not there. Then we're going to create a user. In my case, I'm going to call him user1 and I'm going to assign him a password, something very simple. And then you got to have a second virtual machine that is going to be controlled by this Samba server, and that's going to be a Windows machine. I'm going to use Windows 7, but if you have a lower version or higher version, Windows 8 or say an XP, that's fine. We are just testing it. We are not testing Windows features here. We are just testing to make sure that our Samba share does work for this Windows server. Again, we're going to create a user called user1, and it's going to have a password as well. Okay, so I'm logged into my CentOS machine right now, and the first step is yum install Samba. In my case, it's already installed, so it's going to look for it, and then it's going to say, well, it's already present. And in your case, it may or may not be the same thing. And if I have a later version, maybe that'll get installed, but so far I think I do have Samba installed on this machine. Okay, so it is installed. I'm going to clear this so I can get on top of the screen. And the directory, as I mentioned before, is /etc/Samba is our directory. Now let's do an ls, and the file that we're going to be concerned with right here is, oh sorry, not this one. This is going to be the file that we're going to edit, and anytime you edit a file, always a good idea to make a copy of it, especially if you're dealing with a production server. You definitely don't want to lose the original file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy Samba smb.conf to smb.conf.old. And as you can see now, we have a .old file, and that's the one that we're not going to touch. We'll just work on smb.conf. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and use vim and smb.conf, and we'll look at the global setting first, and work group by default says Samba. Suppose I want to change it. I want to call it Linux gig. Okay, and the rest I'm going to leave as it is. Home directory I'm going to leave as it is as well. Browsable, is it going to be browsable or not? I don't want it to be browsable. And printers, although right now we have all printers set up, but this is where you actually assign the printer name or names. If you have more than one, you can just comma separate it and you put in all the printers. Printer drivers, this is where you're going to be you're going to have the path to your printer drivers.